Hello again, First United Methodist Church. I want to thank you for tuning in to our midweek announcements. There continue to be a number of ways that we're trying to engage the congregation in faithfulness. Our covenants... Where'd you go? What did I say last time? It was good.
I wasn't ready for that second take. It's getting harder to do this.
I know.
Initially it was fine, but now we're overthinking it.
Sorry. Thank you for tuning in.
Do it again, I was talking.
All right.
I was like,
What?
I was already moving.
All right, sorry.
To the second take.
God, you're right.
What do I want to say about the thing? God, it's ridiculous. How about I start?
Well, I mean, I got this.
What you did was terrible. Do it better.
Hello, First United Methodist Church. Thank you for tuning in again to our midweek announcements. We continue to want to encourage the congregation to be the church in connection to God and to one another, even during this time where we're unable to gather. One of the opportunities that you have to stay connected to one another is through Zoom meetings that are happening in our church. And you can connect to any of these gatherings on the list below, where our staff and church leaders are offering opportunities to connect to one another. So please check those out and see if there's some way that you can gather, even if it's by Zoom, to be with the body of Christ.
Gary and I want to thank everyone for continuing to join us in worship every week. This past week, you will remember that Pastor Heaton asked everyone to put rainbows in their windows this week as a reminder of God's covenant with Noah. As we strive to keep the covenant with God and covenants that we've made with one another, you were encouraged to put rainbows in your windows as well. If you've done that this week, wonderful. Send me any pictures or videos that you have of your rainbows to media@cvillefirst.umc.org. And if you haven't put a rainbow up yet, there's still time. I'd love to get a lot of these pictures up on Facebook or perhaps use them in a worship service. And speaking of worshiping online, I do want to thank everyone for subscribing to our YouTube channel. We did reach over 100 subscribers. I think we're up to almost 120 at this point.
Looks like we made it.
But that allowed us to have our own channel name. Our new channel name is... And so please feel free to share that with friends and family as well. I've changed all the links online, and it just makes our worship and our announcement videos easier to find and easier to share. In addition to keeping the covenant, which we've been doing every week by gathering together for worship, by engaging in acts of evangelism through sharing and meeting with each other online, I also want to say thank you for your continued generosity for the mission and ministries of First United Methodist Church. As we said on Sunday, if you find yourself in possession of some extra funds and are looking to be generous, there are resources in this email that will take you to supportcville.com, where you can find places and food banks and other local places where you can use that money to do good in this world. If you also want to continue to give to the church, here is a quick online video about how to do that. In this time of separation, our prayer ministry continues. It has been a joy for both Reverend Heaton and myself to hear from you, to see your comments and reactions every week to our worship services and other things that continue to go on in the life of the church. I would encourage you to please continue to send your prayer requests to prayers@cvillefirst.umc.org so that we can continue in that ministry together.
And as you're able, make those comments things that are affirming, not only for our church and our congregation, but affirming things that the world can see. Because everything that is done online is open to the world. So let's remember that we are able to make a witness and even the way we respond to each other. This last weekend, another one of our members passed away, Liz Cunningham. Her service will be Wednesday afternoon at the cemetery, and it is just for the family. But for those of you who knew Liz and to whom she was a part of your faith story, we put together a little devotional. And if you'd like to take just a moment of reverence and remembrance, you can click on the link below, and this can be your time to connect to God and to one another and to Liz.